Come on, man. That's Hog Daddy stuff. You guys, things have escalated again. Let me show you. So, the brake line kit I bought for the rears was for a car, you know, without ABS. Which means I have to remove this and convert to non-ABS. Which means I gotta take off the master, remove all the hard lines. You know, at this point I'm pretty much redoing the whole front brakes as well. Which really sucks because I was not planning on that. But I'm gonna keep going at it today. Try to get this pump removed and all the hard lines in the front. Then tomorrow I'll probably go to the junkyard and see if I can find a car that has all the parts I need. That's non-ABS. Maybe get away with using my master cylinder. We'll see. She's out, but damn. It's the next day, and I got some parts. Don't mind the mess. I had to find some garbage to lay this shit on, so I don't get brake fluid all over my floor, but let's go see what we got. We got some McDonald's. Just kidding. I found a 4th gen Prelude at the junkyard. Here's the master. And the prop valve. So this car that I took it off of had rear disc, brakes, and no ABS. So, and it was off a Prelude, so I mean, they're really similar chassis. Routing on the firewall and all the lines kind of look the same, so I said, screw it, we're gonna give this a go. That's where we're at. We'll get it all torn apart and we'll see what problems we run into from here. I'm sure there will be a plenty. I've been fiddling with these 2 master cylinders. This is the old one for the ABS. It's longer, so you can see the old one is longer. The Prelude one does fit, so that's good. But what I'm getting now is that when I push this into booster all the way, it's there's probably like quarter or half inch or so gap that I gotta push it, and you can feel like the plunger actually pushing, like activating it. So hopefully I can get make that adjustment on the pedal to kind of take some of the throw out of it there. Other than that, everything seems to be going good. The old lines for where the passenger front brake ran and the front driver, I cut them up, kind of giving me some extra room up here, and I think I'll be able to actually reuse them by getting down here, cutting them, flaring them to the lines that I got from the Prelude, and kind of make this easy-ish. I do got to run to the parts store. I'm going to replace that fuel filter while I'm at it. I'm going to try to get some of that NiCop line, the nickel coated copper or whatever it is that's kind of bendable with your hands. I'm going to get some of that, see if they have any new fittings, and try to get this thing knocked out today. Here's an update on the brake situation we've been working on. This is what I've kind of figured out so far. So this bulky thing never had a spot in the engine bay. So I guess what I did was I moved the reservoir over. There was another threaded hole in here that I used, and the fuse box right here, the injectors, I moved that over to where this bracket used to be, and then this bracket and the throttle cable bracket, I just had them share the threaded hole and stud. And then all the rest of the extra wiring for the ABS, since right now I don't know kind of what it's tied into, I just kind of stuffed it under here to get it out of the way. Got all this stuff ran. I believe this is something to do with EGR stuff or something. Unfortunately, I still need it, but I think it's also worth mentioning that this valve, I haven't had to make any bracketry for this. I kind of just used the bracket that was on the Prelude originally and kind of cut off a leg of it that I didn't need, and then bent the little bracket around, and look at that, threaded right into a hole that was already there. Easy peasy. This is the most tedious, where if I mess up I'm screwed, but this is right here, that brake line right there, I already cut the old end off, but that's the passenger side brake line for the front, and I got to patch into that with a union, and then I can run it up to the prop valve. But before I do that, I'm gonna need some practice on how to flare these lines. Got my little flaring tool here. I guess I'm gonna give this a shot. Never done it before, so all right. This is what we have done so far. As you can see, our old brake line. Now, it's hard to see in there, but you can see it has a new fitting on the end, along with the union. Little adapter line. Have the nickel copper brake line stuff. Now we'll go in here. And then obviously this will go over, and boom. And that'll be our passenger brake line will be done. Right now I'm in the process of bending up the driver's side front brake line. Got the wheel off. I'm gonna try to get this routed through there and see if we can get it to work and make it look decent. See, from about right here, it looks, you know, looks like it's supposed to be there, kinda. These lines and these bends actually didn't turn out super horrible like I thought they would. I guess we'll see what it looks like once the top two lines are going to the master. It might just turn into a nasty spaghetti looking mess of garbage. But for now, that looks pretty cleanish, I guess. No, not really, but I'll take it. This is what we got. It's the final product. Everything's tightened down. Everything's been flared, put in. That's how they're ran. Now I know what you're thinking, you know. Dang, that's a little, doesn't look the best, but I will point you to the name of the channel and, you know, just leave it there. It's good enough for what we're doing. That being said, next thing I got to do is swap out these rotors and the pads, throw some paint on these, you know, kind of freshen them up. Maybe hit this with the wire wheel up in here. I'm going to adjust the fronts a bit because there's no preload in the front coils, so we want to get that in there. Try to save these things a little bit, but other than that, that should be it for the ABS delete and the install of the Prelude prop valve, the stainless rear brake lines, and all these new fancy nickel copper lines. Fingers crossed, hopefully nothing leaks, but I guess we'll see. That's Hog Daddy stuff.